In October 2017, a businessman vanished inside a remote mountain hotel during a violent storm. But when police arrived the next morning, they discovered something impossible. The room he stayed in never existed. No records, no blueprints, no explanation. And what investigators eventually uncovered behind the walls of that hotel was far worse than anyone imagined. Daniel Mercer was 36 years old, a corporate consultant traveling alone to the fictional city of Black Hollow for an important business meeting. Late that night, while crossing the mountain pass, the weather suddenly turned violent. Rain slammed against the windshield. Fog swallowed the road ahead. And within minutes, Daniel completely lost GPS signal. The deeper he drove into the mountains,
the more isolated the road became. No passing cars, no phone service, nothing except darkness and heavy rain. Then suddenly, through the fog, Daniel saw something. A building, barely visible through the storm. The Ashcroft Hotel. An old mountain hotel hidden deep within the forest. The structure looked abandoned. Its wooden exterior had been damaged by years of harsh weather. The hotel sign creaked slowly in the wind, and the entire parking lot sat completely empty. But one thing immediately felt wrong. The lights were still on. According to security footage later recovered by investigators, Daniel entered the hotel at exactly 11:42 p.m. Inside the lobby, everything was silent. No guests, no music, no conversation. Only the faint sound of an old clock ticking somewhere in the darkness. Behind the reception desk sat an elderly woman, staring directly at him. She barely spoke. She asked no questions, no identification, no paperwork, no registration. Instead, she slowly reached beneath the counter and handed Daniel a metal key. Room 307. At first, Daniel thought nothing of it, but as he walked toward the third floor, he began noticing strange details about the hotel. The hallway felt unusually long, longer than it should have been. The ceiling lights flickered constantly, and despite the building appearing empty, Daniel claimed he could hear movement somewhere behind the walls. Around midnight, Daniel sent several voice messages to a coworker. At first, his tone sounded calm, almost amused. He joked about the strange hotel and the storm outside. But with every message, his voice became more uneasy. He described the hotel as feeling wrong, too quiet, too still. He said the windows inside room 307 had been completely sealed shut. The wallpaper was covered in deep scratches, and every few minutes, he thought he heard footsteps moving slowly down the hallway. Then, at exactly 12:58 a.m., Daniel sent another message. This time, his voice sounded nervous. He whispered that someone was standing outside his room, not knocking, not speaking, just standing there, completely motionless, for nearly 20 minutes. Investigators would later replay that recording dozens of times, trying to understand what Daniel had seen that night. Then came the final voicemail. Timestamp 1:13 a.m. Daniel's breathing sounded heavier now, panicked. His voice shook as he spoke. He claimed the person outside the room still hadn't moved. Then, suddenly, a loud metallic sound echoed through the hallway. The recording ended instantly, and Daniel Mercer was never heard from again. The next morning, Daniel failed to arrive at his business meeting in Black Hollow. Concerned coworkers attempted to contact him repeatedly, but every call went unanswered. By that afternoon, local authorities traced his final known location to the Ashcroft Hotel. But when investigators arrived, the case took a disturbing turn. Hotel staff claimed no guest named Daniel Mercer had ever checked in. At first, police assumed it was a misunderstanding until they reviewed the guest registry. Daniel's name was nowhere to be found. No signature, no identification records, nothing. Then, investigators searched the third floor, and what they discovered made the situation even stranger. According to the official hotel blueprints, room 307 did not exist. The third floor only contained rooms 301 through 306.
The police searched the hallway repeatedly, counting every room, checking every wall. But there was no room 307 anywhere inside the building. And yet, multiple witnesses remembered seeing Daniel enter that hallway carrying the key. Investigators quickly realized something inside the hotel had been hidden deliberately. Several hours later, officers noticed unusual scratch marks hidden behind decorative wallpaper near the end of the corridor. After peeling the wallpaper away, they discovered a concealed steel door built directly into the wall. Behind that hidden entrance was a secret room, unofficially labeled 307. Inside the room, investigators uncovered something far more disturbing than they expected. Cameras, recording equipment, hard drives, stacks of documents. The hidden room had been used as part of an illegal surveillance and blackmail operation, running secretly through the hotel for years. Guests staying overnight had unknowingly been recorded. Their conversations, their activities, everything. Authorities later confirmed the footage had been used to extort wealthy travelers passing through the mountains. Investigators believe Daniel accidentally discovered hidden surveillance equipment inside the room shortly before his disappearance. And according to evidence later recovered from the hotel, staff members likely realized he intended to contact authorities. 3 days later, Daniel's abandoned vehicle was discovered near a remote forest trail several miles from the hotel. 2 hotel employees were eventually arrested in connection to the criminal operation. Both later confessed to portions of the surveillance scheme, but neither admitted responsibility for Daniel's disappearance. And despite years of investigation, Daniel Mercer was never found. No body was ever recovered. The Ashcroft Hotel permanently shut down in 2019. Today, the building still sits abandoned deep within the mountains surrounding Black Hollow. But according to local rumors, some travelers passing through the area still claim to see a faint light glowing from the third floor late at night. A single room.
Hidden from every official record. Room 307. The hotel room that was never registered. If you enjoy dark mystery stories and hidden case documentaries like this, subscribe to Hidden Stories World, because some stories are too disturbing to stay buried.